to invite Mark Pert, the founder of DIT Agtech, to present.
Thanks, Isaac. Good morning, everyone. Isaac, I was just wondering if you could share my presentation. Thank you. So while we're getting that up, I'll start, guys. Look, thanks for the opportunity, Beckon, for allowing me to present DIT Agtech. As you might know, I'm sitting in a plane at the moment. I've just flown in from some cattle stations. I'm in sunny Mount Isa, presenting to you from the back seat of my plane so I could get some internet connection before I head back out with my staff out on some cattle stations. What is DIT Agtech? So start up, first of all, we really are an impact farming business. Our core purpose is to enable farmers to produce more food with less better. Where did the idea come with DIT Agtech? I grew up in the bush on cattle and sheep stations when I was a young guy, went to ag college, and for 20 years of my life, I flew helicopters in Northern Australia mustering. And I had a successful helicopter mustering business and a labour hire business, but I never felt that I was had any purpose to my life, that I was doing something that I could contribute to further generations. I went back and did a MBA about 15 years ago. And while I was there doing a finance subject, I heard about this word agtech. And it became really obvious to me early on that tech would disrupt agriculture like any other industry. But the difference was previous tech disruptions been all about social media and smartphones. It's really only given humanity convenience, entertainment. But when we talk about ag tech, we've got the opportunity to do something more important. High level numbers. And some of you probably know these numbers. By 2050, there'll be 10 billion people on planet Earth. We need to produce between 60 and 100% more food to feed everyone. From someone who's got a farming background, and maybe you don't have a farming background, I can tell you that there is an existential risk to humanity that we will not be able to produce enough food. Why? It is hard enough to produce food now for even this population. If you were to ask a farmer that in 30 years they have to increase their production outputs on farm, most of them will just say it's impossible. Well, I don't believe that. I actually believe that with tech and innovation, we can do that. So DIT is a business that's enabling in extensive agriculture to help those farmers produce more with less. We manufacture IoT devices that supplement the drinking water of the livestock through the water. And we also manufacture all the supplements. Why do we do this? Because we have a really big problem in agriculture and extensive agriculture that we cannot get any production without supplementing. It's the second biggest cost in extensive agriculture is supplementation. We do it with lick blocks and dry licks, where animals have to lick the blocks or eat it out of a tub. It's very inefficient. We can't measure it. And the other thing is there's a lot of wastage and it doesn't really give the production benefits. So what we do is we take all of the key ingredients. There's a lot of chemistry innovation in DIT. We take these ingredients and we pump them into the water system so that the animals get exactly the right amount of supplements day in, day out. We decrease the cost of supplementing by half of what it is traditionally. We take away all the labor and all the traveling of putting out supplements across large, expansive areas, and we help farmers to reduce their carbon footprint from emissions just from traveling in motor cars, and we let water do the work. Most people are already putting in big water infrastructure projects on their properties, so we just tap in our devices in there and put the supplements into the water. People might ask, why water supplementing? The way I see DIT Agtech is that if you think back to an e-commerce business, Amazon is a classic example. They had a clear vision to build an e-commerce business, but they had to start with something with selling books. For DIT, we're solving a real problem now, but we have the opportunity because of this digital platform that we're building to hook on a lot of other IoT devices and collect a lot of data into the future. This is a typical doser that you can see there now. The business is revenue generating. We're in our 5th year. And every day we have staff across Northern Australia and Southern Australia installing these doses into the water systems. Next slide. Thanks, Isaac. DIT is not a startup. It's a scale up. We've been in operation since 2016. In the middle of the northern beef industry season, we'll have up to 30 staff working for us. where we are now. Our current clients include A-grade corporate operations, Paraguay Pastoral Companies, our biggest client, owned by Macquarie Bank. We're doing work now with AAM. We're doing work with Australian Agricultural Company, Consolidated Pastoral Company, and nearly all the largest meat processors we work very closely with as well. If you notice there, our target addressable market right now, just with our current clients, is 321,000 head of cattle, is $16 million worth of revenue. So we have a great addressable market into the future. If we just go to the next slide, thanks, Ozzy. We're positioned for strong growth into the future. We currently have 2 revenue models. So we call ourselves a SaaS business. We've had a lot of trouble in the past raising money because we're not a SaaS business, but we are. We're a supplements as a service business. Our customers are sheep and cattle. And we have two revenue models within our business. One is our full service model, where we install all the tech and the infrastructure. Everything's connected to satellites. And then the farmer just pays on the supplements that they buy off us. The other model is our pay-as-you-go model, which is a model where the farmers buy the hard assets, the water fittings and the pipes. We give them the tech free of charge, and they enter into 12 months subscription or offtake agreements to buy their supplements. What do we do from a production benefit, and why is it important for the environment by water supplementing? Well, one, we allow the animals to do what they naturally do, which is instead of hanging around lick blocks and destroying and degrading our pastures and our soils, they learn to walk out and graze, and we look after the pastures. We're increasing production. Most of our clients are seeing up to 10 to 15% increase in calving and lambing percentages. So that equates to less animals on the livestock, but more kilos of beef and wool and dairy. We're predicting this year in FY22 to do over 2 million of revenue. And then with the current customers that we're installing all of our devices on now, that will jump to 5 million in revenue in FY23. Probably the most exciting thing I think we're doing in DIT, and something that I'm really passionate about, is we need to produce more food for humanity. But society is saying to agriculture to reduce their carbon footprint. And one of the biggest things that society is saying, and Isaac and Chris touched on it earlier, is Coles and Woolies is asking farmers to reduce methane. But how are we going to do it? You would have all heard of asparagus, the seaweed additives, the amount of money that's being put into all this research, and these products are on the market now to reduce methane. But everyone's forgot one single thing. How do we deliver these supplements or these additives to reduce methane at scale across the landscape? In Australia, the biggest methane emissions is from our extensive agriculture. That is 92% of all methane emissions is from extensive agriculture. The other 8% is from dairies and feedlots. The opportunity for DIT now is we're actually got a $1.8 million grant working with CQ Uni, looking at all these other methane additives. We're testing them with our current supplements to be able to pump them through our doses and into these water systems to reduce methane emissions from livestock. But more importantly, we're going to start developing methodologies through our software and our hardware so farmers can reduce their emissions every day and at the same time capture a carbon credit. So I'm looking forward to talking to everyone in the breakout groups. Thanks again, Isaac, for the opportunity, and I look forward to chatting to you all later.